You know, I'm old enough to remember the last time the Green Bay Packers replaced their first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback back in 2008. And in fact, I was obviously in this fantasy football business then, and Aaron Rodgers was my number one QB2 to target for upside. I thought he had a really good chance of settling in as a QB1 that year, and he was. He ended up being the QB2 for that season. So that does beg the question, where are we at with Jordan Love? Well, let's break it down. I'll do a very similar process to what I did with Aaron Rodgers, just considering all the pros and the cons, and we'll see where we stand here. So let's start breaking down Jordan Love. Doesn't have a lot of tape out there, obviously, in the NFL, so we don't have a lot of data to go off of. Do have a couple of points here, but let's just start with the physical tools. All the people that I've talked to, and I go to the Combine and the Senior Bowl and all that, talk to a lot of people, they all felt that Jordan Love, when he came out back in 2020, that he had clearly first-round talent. Very good size, good arm strength to drive the ball down the field. He can make those tough stick throws, but that's great. I also really need to see my quarterback have a really good sense of touch, timing, and anticipation, and I do believe that Jordan Love has that. I believe that he was drafted to be a ball distributor in Matt LaFleur's offense, and that's why they drafted Jordan Love. And it's been slow going, but look, you're trying to replace a Hall of Famer who had a couple of MVPs there during your tenure. So it wasn't easy for Jordan Love to get on the field, but there's a lot to work with here, no doubt about it. And of course, when we're looking at the new age quarterback, the second reaction quarterback, Jordan Love can do that. He can throw pretty well on the run, and he does have speed and athleticism to be an impactful runner here in the National Football League. We just don't know exactly, what we're looking at in terms of the number of attempts per game and all that. Will they do designed runs for him? I would doubt that, maybe once in a while, but when plays do break down, he is a young quarterback. He does have those legs, and I think we can give him 200 yards and a couple of touchdowns as a low-end kind of a baseline here. So he does have that second reaction ability here. He is in a pretty quarterback-friendly system, as I said. So there are the positives with Jordan Love. Let's go over to the negative side of things. It's a weird thing with the experience or lack thereof. I mean, on one hand, he doesn't have any experience, but on the other hand, how often do we see quarterbacks sit for 3 full years and then, they get handed the job? Aaron Rodgers comes to mind. That's why we're doing this video, because it's absolutely fascinating. Anyway, back to the negatives here on Jordan Love. Does have some ball placement issues there, often resulted from, lower body mechanical issues, inconsistencies there with the footwork below the waist and all that. Also maybe a little bit of dropping the arm angle and things like that. But, he has been in Green Bay with this coaching staff for 3 full years, and this is year 4 as he embarks on his first NFL campaign. There were definitely moments on tape with Jordan Love where you could potentially see some processing issues here and maybe didn't see the field all that well. So that's a very tough quality to wrap your head around and get a handle on as these kids move on to the National Football League. But I've also spoken with numerous insider types about Jordan Love, including multiple people who cover the Green Bay Packers, and by all accounts, they are very pleased with what they've seen progress-wise from Jordan Love. Maybe not year 1 and year 2, but the light switch turned on per sources last year, and that was evident when he was called upon mid-season. Jordan Love was impressive in his main showing last year against those Philly Eagles, who did have 70-plus sacks last year. Jordan Love was not sacked. He was 6 of 9 for 113 yards and a touchdown. That's a 12.5 YPA. He did not throw an interception, and he completed 67% of his balls. Now, when we look at the comparison to Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love, I actually went back and read an old magazine article that I wrote about Aaron Rodgers exactly this time, May of '08, before the magazine was published. And, I did spend a lot of time talking about his impressive receiving core. And I'd mentioned how they used their first-round pick on Jordy Nelson, which was a clear sign that they were going to continue to throw it. That, of course, was the case. There was that famous Sports Illustrated cover where it was just an absolute embarrassment of riches at receiver for Aaron Rodgers, Jordy Nelson, James Jones, Greg Jennings, Donald Driver, Jermichael Finley, who was a beast. Rodgers did not have Finley back in '08. So we can't compare the supporting casts here, but you got to give the Green Bay Packers a lot of credit for surrounding Jordan Love with a lot of talent here. They still have a solid O-line. Christian Watson is a legit one. He is certainly still a little raw. Romeo Doubs is a nice two. I was all about him last May, actually. We saw that coming. Unfortunately, the injuries kind of disrupted his season, but he's pretty solid. And I absolutely loved Jaden Reed pre-draft. He's a twitched up, inside, outside dude who I watched at the Senior Bowl in Mobile, and I was very out in front on that kid, and he ended up getting drafted a lot earlier than people think. And also, these two young tight ends here in Green Bay are very, very intriguing. The two rookies, especially Luke Musgrave, who I am very, very high on this year. And also Tucker Kraft is a very intriguing guy. Will it all come together right away? That is a big ask, but we do have that established system and a lot of continuity there with LaFleur, and we do have a lot of talent to work with. So I am optimistic on Jordan Love, but here is what really, truly puts it over the top for me. Jordan Love entering year 4, lots of continuity. Yes, it's a young receiving group, but you do have a nice 1-2 punch at running back to lean on. Aaron Jones, a really good receiver. A.J. Dillon can be a really good receiver, so that helps. But here's the key to it all, because right now we're leaning toward the positive, but we do need just another element or two to really put it over the top for us. Hopefully, we get a better vibe for it once training camps open and things like that, and see how he performs in the preseason. But check out this schedule. You are in a very good division if you're in the NFC North here for Jordan Love. You've got the Bears twice. Their secondary and defense is going to be awful. You've got the Vikings twice. They suck on defense. Trust me, I'm a lifelong Vikings fan. Lions, they're improving, but let's slow the roll a little bit on the Lions. I mean, this is not the 85 Bears over here. They're still the Lions until proven otherwise. They also have the Falcons, Raiders, Rams. Their defense is going to be terrible, and a bunch of middling type of matchups here. Tampa Bay, Pittsburgh, KC, the Giants, Carolina. I do not see a single scary matchup on the docket for Jordan Love. He is QB 21 right now on Underdog. I'm not saying he's a great value or he should be ranked way higher than that. I'm right there, maybe one slot over at QB 20. But what I am saying is that it's going to go well in Green Bay with Jordan Love. It's just a question of how well. Does he get to 25 touchdown passes and run 2 or 3 in? Or does, everything click perfectly and he totals 30 touchdowns, let's say 3 or 4 on the ground, and all of a sudden you look at the end of the season, oh, wow, Jordan Love is QB 12 on the season. I absolutely do believe that is within the realm of possible outcomes here for Jordan Love in year 4 in the NFL, and year 1, of course, as the starter. So there it is. That's what I have. Nothing really definitive, but it's going to go well. That's my bottom line on Jordan Love. So certainly a player that you can consider, especially if he slips, not getting a lot of respect out there. There is upside to be had even this year in Green Bay. And there's a lot of upside to be had if you continue liking, subscribing, throw me a bone with a good comment. And we'll catch you next time here at FantasyPoints.com.